In today's video, you're going to learn about the transit of the sun and the earth in the human design system that begins today on September 9th. We're also going to talk about what's going on with some of the outer planets so that you can understand kind of the big influences that are happening. And you're going to learn how to make the best of these transits, because if you aren't paying attention to them, you can be influenced in a way that makes you behave in ways that you don't love, or you can react to other people and the way that they are acting without realizing that they're being influenced by what's happening with the transit. So this is a great way for you to be informed and to make really good decisions for yourself this week. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. For those of you who are new here, I'm Maggie Ostara. I am a certified quantum human design and human design specialist level 4. I have been working with human design for almost a decade, and I have, in addition to my YouTube channel, I do work with clients, and I have programs and so on. So if you want to find out more about that, you can check out my website. So today we're going to dive into what is happening with the sun and the earth. Now, we do have a change from where we just have been, that we're really highlighting the beginning of the two circuits that begin in the head. So we had the left brain energy and we had the right brain energy. So now we've moved on. Yeah, but what's interesting is that we had the beginning of the sensing circuit, which is right brain energy, lit up during the last transit. And now we have its mate, which is being lit up by the sun. So we're still having a continuation of this theme of receiving divine guidance through that sensing circuit. And then we also have the theme of having an emotional September being picked up by where the earth is, because the earth is in a gate that is on the emotional solar plexus. So we're going to take a look at the centers and the circuits in addition to the particular gates. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into where the sun is right now. So the sun is in the gate 47, which is, as I said, the beginning of the sensing circuit. We had the 64 lit up during the previous transit, and now it's mate the 47. So we can kind of think of this as having the divine downloads coming in through that sensing circuit. We were getting the first bit, and now we're bringing in the next bit. So the sensing circuit is right brain energy. It's creative, it's expansive, it's experiential, and it's embodied. It is not strategic or rational or logical or any of that. Okay. So it's a different kind of energy than that. In the last transit, we really had that left brain lit up too. And so we had a little bit of creative tension between the right brain and the left brain. Now here in this transit, we've got that sensing circuit lit up. And then we actually have the knowing circuit, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then it's also on the Ajna center. So the Ajna center, when it's colored in your chart, is green, and it is really kind of the thinking center. It's different than the Ajna chakra, which is the place that we dive into in order to be able to connect to the unified field in the yoga traditions. But here we're really looking at this place of the thinking mind or the analytical mind. So again, we have a little bit of creative tension here though, because we've got this energy coming in through this gate, the 47, which in quantum human design has been renamed the divine transference, right? So it's really where we're receiving those downloads that are coming in from super consciousness, and it's coming in that kind of sensing circuit, right brain kind of a way. But then it's part of the Ajna center, which is more about the thinking brain. So we've got a little bit of creative tension that's going on here between that mind that is wanting to kind of sort things out and figure things out and analyze and all of that. But then the 47 is really open to receiving that transference that's coming in. So notice in yourself, while the sun is lighting up this gate 47, if you're feeling a little bit like, yeah, you're getting some downloads, but you might be kind of wondering about them or wanting to analyze them. And one of the best things I can say is see if you can just receive what's coming in, maybe write about it in your journal or draw about it or make a little collage or just feel into your body about how it's influencing you and see if you can kind of pause a little bit the analysis of it. so that you can really receive that divine transference that's wanting to come in through that gate 47. So we've got the sun lighting up that 47, right? And it is helping us to be able to be receiving these divine downloads that are coming in that way. And then the sun is resting on the earth in the gate 22. So the gate 22 is known as openness in traditional human design, or surrender in quantum human design. And it is in the knowing circuit. So this, again, is not that logical, rational, strategic, analytical kind of energy. The knowing circuit is highly intuitive. And so we're really looking at what are we receiving that is coming in? What are we tuning into? What's becoming available to us? Now, this is also on the emotional solar plexus. And in the major themes video that I did at the beginning of the month, which you can go and watch here if you haven't seen it already, I talk about this being an emotional month because there are many different gates on the emotional solar plexus, which is over here on the left-hand side of the body, that are being lit up, particularly by the earth. Now, in the transit that comes up next after this one, we have both the earth and the sun are lighting up the emotional solar plexus. So be aware of that. That's going to be coming up in about 5 or 6 days. But for right now, we've got that earth, and it's asking us to really ground ourselves in this emotional energy. But it's an opportunity for us to surrender our thinking mind, surrender the part of us that wants to figure everything out, surrender the part of us that can get emotionally worked up when we don't know exactly how things are going to go. And can we just be open to the insights that are coming to us through that knowing circuit, through our ability to connect with superconsciousness, and to be able to surrender to what's actually being shown to us, to be able to surrender our emotions if our emotions are in any way not supportive of us, but mostly just being able to surrender the part of us that really wants to be in charge. Because the knowing circuit, it has impulses that come through it that are really guiding us, but guiding us in a way that sometimes feels really different than what we're used to. Because like I said, it's really not coming from that more rational, logical, strategic way of thinking about things, right? So the guidance that's coming through, sometimes we just have to surrender to it because it may not make sense in the traditional way that we want it to. And if we think about this being paired with the sun in the 47 that I was talking about a moment ago, right, which is on the ajna, which might want to be trying to figure things out because the ajna likes to do that. And so it has been renamed, the ajna has been renamed as the divine translator, which is, okay, there's information that's coming in from super consciousness. And then the ajna is helping it to come more into form and helping to give it words, so that it comes more into the thought realm, and then we can actually kind of track it, not just as energy, but as words or images and things like that. So it absolutely can be experienced in that way. But many times when there's something lit up on the ajna, we can also feel kind of this pressure to be certain about it, to know about it, to kind of nail it down. And yet here we have the earth that is lighting up the 22 that's saying, just surrender all that. Just surrender it and raise your emotional frequency as much as possible. Because on our emotional solar plexus, it's often misunderstood. It's often thought of as the place for feelings. But the thing is we have feelings in many different parts of the chart. It's not just in the emotional solar plexus. And the true power of the emotional solar plexus, if you think about this, it's the second most powerful engine in the human design chart. So it's a source of really powerful energy. And we want to be able to utilize it for our highest good, right? And so when we can build our emotional energy and raise our frequency, which is really about being able to stimulate our joy, stimulate our caring, our compassion, our gratitude, right? And our passion, things like that, right? Things that help uplift our energy, help expand our energy, help us feel like, oh yes, I'm in a field of possibility. I'm a field where I can actually imagine new things coming in that I haven't seen yet in my world. It may not be here yet, but I can get emotionally excited about it. And this is a way that we can raise our frequency. So with the earth lighting up that 22, it's inviting you to say, what is your emotional tone like, right? What is it like? Are you still trying to grasp on and be in charge and be in control? Or are you willing to surrender that and allow yourself to be uplifted into the unified field or into the light realms or into just a higher state of consciousness? Are you willing to allow yourself to experience that? And then I want to just make a note here of the outer planets. I do talk about them in the major themes video, but I think it's important for us to really kind of grasp this piece. And a lot of times we're not paying enough attention to it. But I want to point out here that all these outer planets are retrograde right now for one reason, for one thing. And when the planets are retrograde, they're really kind of like grabbing hold of our collar and saying, hey, pay attention here. We're going back over this again. We're going deeper in this time. What didn't we see when we were rolling through it the first time? What can we see when we go back? It's kind of like when you watch a video again, or you read a book again, or you revisit, an old journal of yours and you go, wow, is that what I was writing about back then? Right? You're kind of going back over things. And Uranus is in the gate 8, has been in the gate 8, was going to be there for a few more months. And it has just retrograded. And the gate 8 is about our contribution. It's like, how are we bringing our life force out into the world? How are we really expressing ourselves? It's on the throat. So it is an activating energy. And Uranus is the god of awakening and of sudden changes. And so Uranus is kind of going, hey, what are we doing with our contribution? Uranus is also at the very end of his journey through the astrological sign of Taurus. And so part of this is like, what's happening in the Tauran world? What's happening with our home world and our ability to feel like we're comfortable and we're in our own space, because Taurus energy is very grounded in the home space. And then we have Neptune, which is retrograde in the 25 and is going to be there for the rest of this month. And the 25 is this beautiful energy. It's also individual circuitry. It's actually in the centering circuit, which is highly influential. And it's in this beautiful gate, the gate of spirit, or the love of spirit. And so Neptune, which is a spiritual theme in the human design world, is lighting up the gate of spirit and saying, how are you doing with your spiritual life and your spiritual practice? And you probably heard me say this is a great time to be creating a spiritual practice or uplifting or refreshing your spiritual practice if you've kind of lost track of it or it feels kind of rote and it doesn't feel juicy to you anymore. And then, of course, we still have Pluto, who's retrograde in that gate 60. And the story of Pluto is a big one. I'm sure that you've been hearing this in different places. I've talked about it in some of my other videos, because Pluto has just retrograded back into Capricorn and is still in that gate 60, which is where we're sorting. What are we going to take forward with us in the future? What are we going to leave behind? And Pluto is just, getting deep in there. And I'll have to say, while I've been really focusing on this Pluto retrograde, and especially since he moved back into a Capricorn, I've been feeling a lot of really deep kind of substructural beliefs that were in my subconscious coming up to the surface for me to be able to make new choices about them. And this can be uncomfortable, right? When things that are in the deep substructure come out. The thing I want to say is, if you're experiencing that, if you're feeling anything that's coming up, like just this kind of deep, kind of simple and yet profound and highly influential things like, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, I don't belong, I don't matter. We think of this as a kind of limiting core beliefs. And Pluto can be getting in there and saying, okay, here's another layer. Let's bring that up to the surface so you can decide to let that go. Because that's what we're doing right now until November 19th. We're bringing up things to the surface so you can take a look and then you can let them go, or you can revise them and have them be different. But it is an opportunity to be taking a look at some of the things that have probably been orchestrating your experience from deep down in your substructure without you realizing it. So grab a hold of this opportunity, right? Because it can be one of those things where you start to feel like, oh my God, I feel so bad about myself right now. Realize if that's coming up, that it's not about you. It's about you being able to really get a hold of and release things that you may have gotten from your other lives. You may have, it might be part of an ancestral tradition. And I think that one of the big things that isn't really talked about that much with this Pluto in Capricorn, this last bit of Pluto in Capricorn, is that we can break the ancestral legacy, right? Because this is part of the old order, is our ancestral legacy. And so we're breaking that. There's so much emphasis right now on what Pluto's doing, like in the political realm or in the institutions and so on. But it's also happening inside of us, right? And it's the ancestral legacy and the things that come from other lives, right? Can be part of the old order as well that we're letting go of. I know I'm in it. So if you're experiencing it, you're in it. And I can guarantee you there's a whole bunch of us that are in it right now as well. And if we can just even imagine each other and kind of, psychically link arms to know that we're in a beautiful and powerful time of transformation right now, when we really can liberate ourselves at a whole nother level. And if you're wanting to dig deeper into human design, I have a special that's going on just through September 10th. So it's today and tomorrow. And you can receive my Activate Your Superpowers Understanding Human Design program. This is a program, it's got 11 lessons. It goes into all the major themes of human design. And it presents it to you in a way that you can really take it and it's actionable. And all of the different lessons also have, there's a workbook that goes with it. So there's a worksheet that goes with each of the lessons. So you get to take what you learn and then really apply it to your life. Because what happens with people a lot with human design is they watch a lot of videos or they read books and so on, but they don't necessarily take it and apply it, which is understandable because if you're binge watching videos, you're just kind of doing that, right? But if you really want to learn it, you got to take it and then apply it to your life. And the way that you get access to my Activate Your Superpowers class in this bonus time is when you join the Sovereign Sisterhood. And the Sovereign Sisterhood is a growing global community that I am facilitating, but it's also starting to take on a life of its own. And it is, there's a special for you to get the Activate Your Superpowers class when you join it. And I will send you to a video that'll tell you more about it. And the main thing is for you to understand every month we have a theme. For the month of September, our theme is working with types and strategy, which is the beginning of the Activate Your Superpowers class. But we don't just do it through information. We also do it through creative practice, through energy practices, through dialogue of working with each other where we're sharing about our different experiences. So we're crowdsourcing more and more understanding from everyone's life experience, because I can give you my perspective on human design, and I am a human design expert, but you're the expert on you. And so we want to bring in your wisdom from your life experience, and we're co-creating a deeper understanding of the types and strategies by doing that. So we have a couple of different times during the month when we get a chance. You get to talk to other members, and then other times when I'm there and you can ask me questions, but we still have a discussion. And so you get to participate in ways that really work for you. So if this is intriguing to you, I encourage you to check it out. Like I said, this special is just good through September 10th. So I hope you'll join us if this is calling to you. Many blessings. Much love. Bye for now.